So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the applications and leasing portion. All right, so some things, and you guys have here in your landlord resource guide, which I will continue to refer to, but you have here all of the kind of criteria that we're looking for. So to save on time, I won't go over that. Some of the things though that does make us different as far as this, we do, a full credit check, full background check. So everything there is covered. We do full employment verification and full landlord verification. And the reason why that's important is to really get a full picture of what resident you are getting at your property. So we don't only just check pay stubs, we actually try to speak with and contact an employer directly. And the reason why we do that is because we've had situations before where people can show you a paycheck, but they have recently been released from their job. Like fired, or they're on probation, and that may be a possibility. So those are things that you want a full picture of what's going on with this potential resident that's coming in to your particular property. The same thing goes whenever you're talking about landlord verifications. Of course, we have a standard form we have to have everyone fill out, and we want that basic information for you so it is all consistent. However, we do the same thing, and we try to actually speak with that landlord directly or with the supervisor over that particular property. We like to speak with them directly because we want to know not only did they pay rent on time, but we want to know if they caused any problems or nuisances with the neighbors. We want to know how they took care of the property. We want to know when they went in and did their property checkups, what was the condition of that property like? Was it well maintained? Was it taken care of? Those sort of things. Did they have any unapproved pets at the property? Those are things that we're looking for when it comes to maintenance items. Did they have a lot of maintenance that they requested at these properties while they were there? And were these things property related, or were they resident costs? Due to resident neglect. Those are things that we are looking for, actively looking for when we are qualifying your particular resident for the property, okay? It takes about 2 to 3 business days in order to get everything processed, and the only thing that takes the longest for that is actually speaking with that employer or speaking with that landlord directly. And a lot of times whenever we have someone who is interested in one of your properties, whether you're for rent by owner or full management or resident location only, when we have someone who is interested and has applied, we let them know that information, that's the part that holds up the process. So a lot of times they'll get on the phone, give them a call, and let them know to expect us, and that usually speeds the process up, okay? But those are the things that we're looking for, and we kind of do whenever it comes to the application fee portion of this. I know you guys see the fees on there. That is not a fee that you're paying, that's actually the fee the applicant is paying, okay? So you guys don't have any additional fees when it comes to this application and leasing portion of the process. That's what they're paying. Now we do, here in the Gainesville area or Alachua County area, application fees can actually go anywhere from $50, some people do like $40 to $100 per person, per adult, for these applications. We're kind of in between that. But the reason why we have ours a little bit on the higher end is because we want people to really make an investment before moving into your property. One of the things that we have learned, one of the things that we found is that if they are really making this investment, for one, you get more qualified people, you get more serious people looking at your properties or applying for your properties instead of wasting your time. But the other things, if they're making a true investment in it, it is something that they really want. Okay, and they're passionate about. So we have found that to be out. We have found that out as well. Some other things that we want to kind of take into consideration and walk you guys through is for the leasing part of things. So once we have that approved applicant, which after we go through all the information, we do all of our screening, we actually send you a summary of that information. If you are a for rent by owner and this is an a la carte option, then we actually have that applicant sign off to send you a physical copy of that credit report so you can see the full details there, okay? But after we have that, you have approved them, you feel comfortable with them, we've discussed some things, and you want to move forward with them, we actually require the first month's rent and security deposit to move forward. Okay, so if you're in our full management or resident location only, that's what we require. And the main question that we get that we would love to address now is, what about last month's rent? Right? We have some people who require the last month's rent. In our experience and in speaking with people, not only in our local area, but also in different states, in our experience, what we found is that some people have very it's just a change or a shift in mindset whenever they pay that last month's rent. It's kind of like they've paid it already. So they really check out the second month before they have to move out of the property. And that's not something we ever want. We don't ever want anyone to check out. So with that last month's rent, a lot of landlords or property managers want that last month's rent as additional security if something happens. Usually in that situation, if someone is able to pay the last month's rent, for one, usually they're a little more financially stable, and anything that's going to uproot that is a little bit more in lines with they just had an abrupt change in financial situation, and then you have to make some decisions anyway. But other than that, if there are some red flags that occur in the application part of the process and you still decide to approve them, which we do have landlords who do that, and we walk you through that process and what that looks like. But if they have some red flags, our recommendation, instead of doing last month's rent, because of that mindset shift, usually what we do is we actually require an additional security deposit, which is equal to a month's rent. Okay, so what that allows you to do is it does allow you to use the funds a little differently, right? Especially when it comes to damage for the property and things like that. It allows you to use it for that purpose as well as last month's rent in the worst case scenario. So it's just a different way of thinking about it, a different way of going about it, and we've actually found more success in doing it in that way. Okay, so that's why we do it that way. First month's rent and security deposit, we actually withhold the first month's rent if you're full management or resident location only. We withhold that for your leasing fee. Okay, so again, you're not coming out of pocket for anything. That first month's rent, we withhold. The security deposit we have sent to you to put in a non-interest bearing account. Okay, so usually it works out really well that way, and then we draft all the leasing paperwork and everything, and we kind of get them signed up and ready to go, and everybody gets a signed copy of that to go in their files after. All right. Well, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns on that, feel free to reach out to us. Again, here we could not cover everything, but if you have questions, what happens, if you do have someone with some red flags, if you have specific examples, those sort of things, we'll be more than happy to chat with you. See you soon.